important thing about an electric vehicle, the battery. Battery health, battery condition, state of health, which is state of capacity and not state of health. So we're going to talk all about this. First, I want to introduce myself. We're here with two companies, Ziva Global and Electrify. Electrify is similar to what you guys do, but you are running a way bigger operation, I think. And if you come over to our booth at the grass fields, you can do a state of health battery vehicle health check. We give a 30% discount for the whole weekend, only for those attending. So meet us up in the tent, assess the health of your vehicle, and if you want to have it repaired, hit Vanja up, all right? Okay, so state of health. Vanja, do you want to start off talking about state of health? What is it, and is it misleading? Is it a good thing that we're talking about state of health nowadays?
Yeah, I think for the past 5 years, I don't know, we did maybe around 2,000 battery packs of different kinds and models. What we have noticed, we never can trust the state of health to determine the state of the battery pack. State of health is actually wrong parameter, misleading for all of you EV owners. What we have seen that we cannot let's say, acquire the data from the battery pack just on the state of health or capacity to determine the state of the battery. Is it healthy? How long it will drive? When it will fail? So we were forced to design our own state of health because existing state of health is state of capacity. You need at least 10 different parameters to determine is the battery pack healthy and will it hold, I don't know, 200,000 kilometers, 400,000 kilometers, or whatever. We have some cases, let's say with Model S 85, doing 600,000 kilometers, driving just a taxi and DC charging, and it didn't fail. But the state of health, which was wrong parameter, was 30%. But when we analyze the battery pack, we have seen that we must analyze the battery pack on several parameters. One of them is what is the moisture inside the battery pack? Is casing damaged? What is the pressure test of the battery pack? So does it leak? The second thing is, let's say, internal resistance of complete battery pack or just individual groups. So many different parameters to determine the state, so I can tell the customer, because the customers trust us, they want to know how many kilometers will it make in the next 5-6 years. So for us, it was a problem. If I do repair, I must predict what is the end of life cycle. So we design our own end of life cycle, which will tell you, is battery pack repaired? How many times it needs to be repaired? What is the possibility of the repairs? What design of the battery pack? Is it, let's say, cylindrical cells? Is it prismatic? Is it pouch cells? So there is a lot of different parameters to trust state of health, the wrong parameter. So we design our own, which is called end of life state of health. So let's say you have Tesla Model S, 500,000 kilometers. End of life cycle for this battery pack S85 is 600,000 kilometers. So I cannot promise customer that this will hold 200,000 kilometers. It doesn't matter what state of health it is, what capacity it is. So we had a lot of problems now where we designed for Model S. We can pull out through LAN connection. We can pull out almost 19,000 parameters to determine through AI what is the expected life, end of life cycle for this battery pack. And it was really hard, but right now we are on good path.
Perfect. So I think most of you have seen lately that in your Tesla, in the service menu, you can run your own state of health cycle, right? You need to drive a little bit, do a full discharge cycle, and then it'll give you a percentage. But it's very well possible that you have a 95% state of health, but you have a strong imbalance between the cells, and your car will die eventually, sooner or later. So the main player in this field right now is Avilu. That's I think, European-wide the name. And you were testing around with Avilu for quite a bit, right? You got sent the Avilu hardware,
yeah,
and you were fiddling around with it. So then I sent you a code for the Ziva and Electrify report. And what was your first response when you saw the data from our report?
I was like, whoa, how do you guys find out about this? But also, for you guys who don't know about this, it's like the C report needs access to
Tesla Toolbox.
Yeah, toolbox. So then via toolbox, you guys can pull out lots of data. I mean, I think it's basically like when I plug in the OBD adapter and I can see battery temperature and lots of parameters there, right? Via that, you can basically get that information, right, via toolbox.
Via Toolbox, we get the log files from the vehicle of the last 30 days. So if you drive your car normally, we can determine and see what's wrong with your car. More than just the battery. So we can detect if the engine is the motors are possibly leaking oil, if there's moisture in the connection or in the connectors, or possibly even in the battery pack itself. Moisture in and of itself is not a really big issue unless it's very high moisture, because mild moisture, when you supercharge or you drive, it just evaporates. So it's more than just the battery, it's the complete vehicle health. And you called it alien technology, I think?
Yeah, Tesla alien technology. No, but I've driven many of these tests where I charge the car to 100% and then I discharge it to maybe 5%. And then I measure it based on what the car reports and calculate how many kilowatt hour I get out of it versus how much it had when it was new. Because I've been testing for so many years, so I have many of these data. And also, many times I also run the Avilo along with it. But lately, I haven't been able to run it because Avilo doesn't allow you to run or to connect OBD adapter and run.
That's a little bit weird, right? Because they're the market leader, and they're the experts, and you cannot connect it anymore.
Yeah, so that's kind of clumsy. But you know, what I'm saying is that when I do my test, first you need to charge it to 100% and make sure that it's 100%, and then I drive it. And then if you drive it too fast, then you get more heat loss in the battery, and you get actually less kilowatt hour out of it. But it usually means driving maybe 2 to 5 hours to do the test. And then I calculate how much it is, which is quite accurate. But I can actually, if you have Sky My Tesla, you can already see what the car reports. As long as the BMS is quite calibrated, you already get quite good idea there. And then what I've seen many times when I test Tesla is whatever it reports, I usually get maybe 0.5, 0.8 kilowatt hour less. So which means that I don't really have to do the test as long as the battery is reporting correctly. And that's why I think that, you know, the C report is brilliant, because instead of wasting a whole day of testing, you could just run the test. As long as data are accurate, then you get the answer within half an hour only. And if you have a big fleet, then, you know, instead of 1 month of testing, you have a couple of hours of testing on
Yes, so it makes sense. Like, for instance, leasing companies doing thousands of vehicles. After 5 years, all those cars get back to the market. And what they nowadays need to do at the auction houses, physically connect to every single car. And if the battery management system wasn't really calibrated, you don't get a good reading. So you actually need to drive, do the discharge cycle. So imagine the time spent when you need to do this.
I've done it many times.
Yeah. And that's why you're the legend, because you have the spreadsheet, like the holy grail of Tesla data or EV data. So be sure to check out all his videos on YouTube if you already did, of course. But testing the last 3 weeks, you noticed something between LG, Panasonic, I think, and you also have some opinions. So that'll be a very interesting conversation. What did you find out?
Well, many of my viewers, they wanted to know if the Panasonic batteries degrade more than the LG batteries. So I asked my audience, and many of them, they send me the report. And okay, we don't have that many results yet, but it seems to indicate that LG batteries, they have maybe half, or let's say, okay, after, let's say 100, 200,000 kilometers, Panasonic batteries tends to be down to only 80% state of health, which is actually quite bad compared to the Model S batteries. They are way better. But then LG batteries, they seem to be roughly on par with the Model S X batteries. So it seems like LG batteries are better than Panasonic batteries then. Or are they?
And what do you think, Vanja?
Yeah, but we said right now that state of health is not the most important parameter. The difference is,
capacity.
sorry?
State of capacity.
Yeah, state of the capacity. So what we have noticed that internal resistance of the LG battery packs are at least 2 times higher. More the resistance is inside the battery cells, you have much more loss, heat loss inside the battery pack during the discharge and during the charge. So, but there is a different topic about there are 2 topics actually about the Panasonic battery packs in Model 3 and Model Y. What we have noticed that 2 sources of cells exist. Not Nevada. We have one more source which we are not 100% sure, but the second set of Panasonic cells used in Model 3 performance in Europe, they are produced in China. So there exist Panasonic Nevada and probably one source for the cells for the Panasonic from China. So there are 2 differences. Yes, you are right. The capacity state of health degradation is higher at 100,000 kilometers. But the failure rate, in my opinion, and what we have figured out, that more battery packs fail on the LG side, even with just 8% of state of health. So that's why I said it's completely wrong parameter. There are some different other informations from the battery pack which you can pull to decide, is this battery pack healthy enough to hold 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. So its state of health is not always the most important parameter. We have battery packs with, let's say we did a Twingo electric one with 350,000 kilometers. It had 40% degradation, but overall state of, let's say, end of life state of the battery pack was at some 20%. So why the battery pack was, why we didn't declare the battery pack as a loss? Because the battery pack was still fully balanced. Delta was only 8 millivolts.
So if I listen to you correctly, degradation is higher. So in that sense, you get less range out of your out of your battery pack.
That's not the fault.
That's no. So the fault is the battery pack itself and all the cells. The resistance internally is too different, and that kind of starts a chain reaction in the battery
delta,
pack, right?
Resistance delta, capacity delta. So it was at minimum. So all the modules had the same resistance and all modules had the same capacity. So what is the difference? Twingo battery pack hold 400,000 kilometers, and the LG pack on my Model Y hold only 160,000 kilometers, and it was unrepairable.
There you have it.
So the most important part that you must completely forget state of health, existing one. You need to think it more as state of capacity and measure all other 10 parameters to declare, is this battery health to make 300,000 or 500,000?
Exactly.
So let's say what we noticed on Blade. Blade has a similar issue with the Panasonic cells, 1865. They are degrading at pretty high rate. For example, we had some customers with 25% degradation on 100,000 kilometers.
That's way
but it
too
was
much.
perfectly balanced. So this pack is not broken.
It's not a bad pack, but it
it's
degrades
operating
fast.
Yes, but operating perfectly.
Okay, and then interesting, because listening to you, I think for a lot of people, like most of you, own a
confusing.
Tesla. Yeah, and it's confusing. So if you have questions, please ask them after a couple minutes. But you all drive Teslas, lease Teslas, or are looking to buy a Tesla. If you're buying a used Tesla, what are things that you need to look out for when you buy a used Tesla?
It needs extensive certificate of complete vehicle health and end of life cycle of the battery pack. So when I read, let's say, all the 19,000 parameters on Model S, it doesn't matter what age. It can be Model S 2014. If we see that the internal resistance delta is similar on all modules, and if the degradation is same, on all modules, that battery pack is healthy. The only one test we need to make is a pressure test. Does this battery leak the water from outside? If that is okay, we declare this 100% healthy battery pack. It doesn't matter the mileage.
And of course, like throughout the years, we have seen different battery packs in different vehicles. Do you notice something interesting in that respect?
Yes.
Which battery packs are the best? Which model years, which months are the best to look out
Maybe
for?
I will disappoint the public, but one of the best battery packs which we have ever seen are the first generation, 2013, 14, 15, and 16. S85, but original one. The problem right now with all those battery packs, they are remanufactured. Tesla made mistake with the remanufacturing process. Bonding of the fuses is wrong. So all the remanufacturing packs are actually not so good as original one. So we call them factory battery packs. And there is a huge issue with all remanufacturing packs during the 029, 123 leaking, 107 error code. And the most mileage was made by the original battery packs. But the problem was they were swapping them under the warranty with the even worse one.
Yeah, so they swapped them with refurbished battery packs
exactly.
and not new battery packs, right?
The second one which we noticed is 75D. I don't know, can we ask the public, what do you think how many 75D battery packs we repaired in 6 workshops of EVClinic? Give me some number. 0. So
They're that good.
Huh?
They are that good.
They are that good. I don't know why. I think the chemistry, we see variation with electroimpedance spectroscopy that chemistries on 85 exists at least through 3 types. 90 packs are 3 types, and 75D is 2 types of chemistries. So some of them ended up, all of best one of the chemistries ended in 75D Tesla. And those we can see on the taxis 600,000 kilometers without failure. Yeah.
It's impressive. 600,000 kilometers on a single battery, right?
On the single battery, but it was original. It was not remanufactured.
So it wasn't refurbished.
And there is one interesting thing. You can filter out on the vehicle which battery pack is not remanufactured. If the cover of the battery pack is black, this is one of the best. Don't change it. I was telling my friends, don't change your battery under the warranty because they will give you reman. I will repair it for you for free because it's the better one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then, repairability of batteries. What are your opinions on that? Like, are electric vehicles, are Teslas actually sustainable in that sense? Are they repairable?
Yeah, I think that's actually more. Yeah, that
I think
you
so
need
too.
to answer. Not me. I don't repair cars. I tend to break them.
You break them and you test them.
Okay, under my ownership, some of the Tesla just went kaput for no reason. Just driving, if you guys probably watch it, drove the Model X at night and then suddenly, boop, died. And same with the Millennium Falcon, you know, boop, battery dead. So that happened several times, but yeah.
And then, yeah, well, what did you notice in terms
About
of
the repairability? So we have seen really good designs and really bad designs. Still, one of the best designs is still cell to module, which is used in Model S and Model X. One of the most repairable ever, which we have ever seen. The second one is, let's say, the prismatic cell to module found in ID cars, Volkswagen, Audi, and some of those. But let's say the most unsustainable is cell to pack. I'm afraid that there is no future for those packs in our environment and e-mobility.
And cell to pack is Model Y and Cybertruck?
Yes, actually. Yes.
With the structural battery pack,
So
right?
I'm afraid, I mean, it doesn't mean we will not find a solution. Sandy said that it's not possible to open Model S module, so we did it. Then we found out solution for Model 3. Everybody said it's not possible to change one cell, then again we did it. So anyway, doesn't matter how hard the project is. Is it sustainable and what is the liability for us? So we don't go into critical stuff. If we see that, let's say, Model 3 is not sustainable, like LG packs, we cannot change 120 cells. We can change 1 or 3 cells inside the module. And I think that future depends on quality of the cells, not on the range, not on the chemistry, not on the design of the cells, expressly on the quality of the cells. And the last thing is how many times do I need to change the cell? For example, I'm completely concerned about blade cells. I heard there is a huge problem with the blade cells, and even one institute in Spain made a test. Is it possible to repair it? It's not.
And which Tesla vehicles have the blade cells?
There is one Model Y, long range but complete BID group is on the blade cells.
And how many cars are they selling?
Sorry?
How many cars are they selling?
A lot. So there will be a lot unrepairable vehicles.
And that's going to be like, that's good. They're going to come back like.
Yeah, it will. Only thing which I hope it will happen that someone will offer third-party battery pack designed to be repairable, like we did on some vehicles.
Hey, and something interesting, because the last time we spoke about Avilo and the Kia, I think, you noticed something very special about the way that Avilo determines the kilowatt hour, the capacity in the battery pack.
Oh.
Because they get it from manufacturer and not necessarily from the vehicle, right?
No, well, I have to choose myself. In order to do the Velo test, I have to choose which car it is. Yeah. So it doesn't detect it automatically.
No, so it doesn't detect it. But you said like most Kia Niros, I think, they get heat issues in the battery, and then they swap the battery, right?
Oh, no, it's
and
it's
then
a
they
Kia
have
Soul.
yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah, the first generation Kia Soul from I don't remember 2015 something.
Great car
Yeah.
for a banana box test.
Yeah. They some of the cells are stacked, and then they use a chemistry that doesn't deal with heat that well. So then the hotter cells at top they degrade more, and then once they start failing, and then it pulls the rest of the pack. So then suddenly you have 50 or 40% capacity left. So then Hyundai, Kia, they replace the batteries then, but it's kind of random how they do it.
Yeah, and then if you want to run the test again, you're not able to correctly check the.
The kind of sneaky part there, I still wonder why this is not a new scandal yet, is that Kia BMS reports a higher state of health or whatever. When I do the test, charge it to 100%, drive it down until the car almost dies, then I get whatever kilowatt hour, and then I calculate the state of health. But what the car report is way higher. And then for warranty repair, they will only look at the car's state of health, which is lying. So, and it's not only Kia that is doing it. Also, classic Ioniq I tested recently. State of health was like 95%. I'm like, okay. When I did the test, the actual driving test, I think it was around 80% only. So there's something about the Korean cars, they are lying about state of health. But you see, Tesla, when you look at the Scan My Tesla, what they were reported there is actually correct. And then you just minus a couple of 100 watt hour, and then that would be the test result if you would drive it.
So we might have a battery gate scandal.
I don't know.
In a couple of years, I think. Here.
I have made the video a while ago, but seems like nobody cares about it. But it's bad for the consumers because they are sitting on old Kias that they cannot get fixed, and then they dump them. In Norway, you can find many of these Kias for only 2,000 euros. Yeah, and they are actually, the car is still fine if the battery wasn't that bad.
Wow. So a lot to learn, and I hope we didn't confuse all of you. I think it might be wise if we go over to some questions to the audience right now. So listening to this wonderful, enlightening story, I see the first finger popping up.
Thank you. One question to you. Do you think if pouch cells have a future?
Sorry, can you repeat?
If pouch cells have a future?
Power cells are one of the worst cells ever produced for automotive purposes. So what Bjorn was mentioning about the Kia, it's same situation like Nissan Leaf and some other cars.
Yeah.
For example, Porsche Taycan is using the power cells. They are extremely critical on the safety because they do not have any encasing, proper encasing on the cells. They start inflating. When they start inflating, they will make short circuit on different positions through the isolation. This is why Porsche Taycan limited charge to 90% because they had the leakage on the isolation. Same problem on Kia. We analyzed at least 15 Kias. They have all the same problem. It's temperature delta. So first it is pouch, wrong cooling and heating, and you have always thermal data because under the front seats there are holes which are used to heat or cool down the battery pack from the cabin. So you always have one part of the battery pack is let's say 35, and the back in the winter is at zero temperature. So every temperature delta is one of the biggest killers of the battery pack, especially if it doesn't have active thermal cooling. And I think that partly pouch cells are e-mobility killers because, well, let's say 95% of all recycled cells, we recycle per year, let's say 1 ton. And almost 98% of all kilograms of recycled cells are pouch cells. So it is wasting our environment, and I think there is no future. They must completely abandon this idea.
Yeah, thank you. And one last remark from me. We have already battery scandals. We have it with the Porsche Taycan, and we have it also with the Nissan Leaf 40 kilowatt hours. The Nissan Leaf have uncooled battery packs, and there are also some photos already where the battery structure pack broke because of the heat.
Okay, so we start to see a scandal already here. We are starting to see a scandal already, but it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, I mean the same problem has I-Pace. Some of the Volkswagen ID packs, they are with the pouch. They are not with the prismatic. So it fully depends what type of. We already made one manual how you should choose your EV. It's not by handrest. Is it leather or is it some other material? It's not about the interior. It's not about anything. I think the most important thing when you are accessing some, let's say, EV shop and you want to buy something, you should ask him what type of cells you have and what is the repairability of the cell. So that's the most important factors for the future.
Thank you. I believe you had a question, right?
Hi, this is a question for Vanja, and it's about Porsche Cayenne battery pack. What do you...
Cayenne or?
The Cayenne, yeah, the new one.
We didn't open that one still.
No, but what do you think about those types of battery that's used in there? Because at the garage, they don't know a little about all the batteries and all the question, the technical things you ask. I think there's also a bit room for improvement for car manufacturers to talk about more to the salespeople about that.
Can you just simplify?
Yeah. The Porsche Macan type of battery that's going to be used. What is your opinion about that?
Porsche Cayenne, a hybrid. Or Taycan.
I think the Macan electric.
Yeah, but this is a pretty fresh vehicle. So let's say we don't have opportunity always to open brand new battery packs. Only if the warranty is declined. But I don't even know what they are using in this model, and I hope it's not a pouch cell. So.
And I think you were also trying to make the point that Porsche themselves do not really know their shit about batteries, and they don't inform the public, right? They don't have a clue. They take it as just a legacy, just another car, and they don't know about the batteries because they don't produce them themselves.
They made mistake. They had one. I know internally they had one. Let's say agency to give them proper advice how to design the battery pack. I know they were thinking to put the cylindrical cells at one point. But the problem is now they are at €1 billion of negative portfolio. So they are right now. I know they are not designing any future battery pack right now. So if they used in that model, if they use the pouch cell, it will be same problem like Taycan. Don't expect they invented the wheel.
Does that answer your question in a satisfactory and timely manner? Perfect. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3 questions. 4 even, wow. Okay, we do 4 questions and then we're going to talk about something in the very special in the Ziva and Electrify report, also about odometer, because you're able to tamper with the odometer. Let me start with you because you were the first one.
Hello. So talking about the battery health in general. So you talked about the battery capacity, right? Also about humidity in the battery or like this. Let's talk about battery charging. Because I noticed that when you supercharge a battery, the charging power goes up until the imbalance goes to 30 millivolts. Then it stops, you know. So you can also judge a battery about how fast it charges, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
What can you say about this?
First, when you do fast charging on 300 or 600 amps, you need to understand there is one chemistry inside the cell which is called voltage relaxation. That means when you finish the charging at 100%, it doesn't mean it's correct delta voltage because all the cells have some small deviation between the voltage. It's not wrong, it's not defect, but you need to wait. Voltage relaxation period, it's around between 1 and 3 hours. So it depends. You cannot measure immediately. And the hours depends only on the age of the battery pack. So the more older the battery pack is, you have internal resistance higher, you will need to wait 3 or 4 hours for voltage relaxation. This is what we do when we do Model S battery pack repairs. We must go to coffee 4 hours until voltage relaxation finishes so we can make proper measurement. And what would the one most important thing about fast charging, I think it's damaging the battery pack. So I mean, more important thing than the range is the fast charging, in my opinion. But the problem is it's killing the battery packs. So if you are charging 250 or 350 kilowatts, especially Model S, LG, and the Panasonic China, you will kill the battery pack. But there is one process in the beginning. Each battery pack, when it's new, you must do supercharging. This was researched by English Institute about the chemistry and forming the cell from internals chemistry side. They told us you must charge supercharging in the beginning, 5,000 kilometers, then you can take AC as normal. So, and even this depends because different chemistries behave differently. For example, when we do repair on Kia Soul, which he mentioned, we had the issue that let's say we want to recycle the cells. Chemistry is extremely strange, and I don't know why. We never seen something like this. We must discharge the cell and short it. So we discharge, and we wait tomorrow for shorting, we discharge to 0 volt. Tomorrow I come to work, it's 3.3 volts on all cells. So it regenerates its own voltage through the process of voltage relaxation. So Kia have different problems. For example, you could drive Kia and get different state of health if you drive 20 kilometers per hour for 10 hours. Because it likes slow discharge, not high discharge. So, but this depends. I mean, we have a lot of data. I could talk to tomorrow about this, but.
So, very interesting. If you buy a Tesla, they don't tell you this, that you first need to supercharge for the first 5,000 kilometers. So, what that tells me is that if you want to know for certain what's wrong with your battery, go to EVClinic and first do the battery health test with Ziva and Electrify, right? Sorry,
Sold.
This is just commercials. Okay, 2 more questions, and then we're going to go to the topic of the day, odometer.
One in the white shirt.
Yeah, they both have white shirts. Okay.
Hi. So I have a question. Since the topic of, let's say, non-cylindrical cells was touched, pouch cells, and then I will ask a question about the other 2 options of non-cylindrical cells, which looks like to be the pouch cells as well. So, like a year ago, our guest and the speaker today, Sandy Monroe, was visiting a facility of Saku metal-free battery company, and making reviews on their cells and claiming that, showcasing that those are like really good batteries. So I have a question about what is your opinion of those cells from Saku, and also there is a company from Finland which is called Donut batteries. And are you aware of them? And what do you think about both the Donut battery from Finland and Saku metal free? Personally, myself, I have only seen the video from Sandy about Saku metal free battery company, and like probably 5, 6, 7 videos from Donut batteries, because they were really active on YouTube on their own channel, sort of proving that their battery technology is not a fake but a real thing. What can you say about this? Thank you.
Thank you for the short question. Did you Did you understand it?
Well, all I can say, well, he is the battery expert, but but I did contact Donut Labs because I was genuinely interested in it, and also, Finland, they have Kempower, they have some rally drivers. So I figured, okay, there's maybe some good stuff from Finland, like Nokian.
Or the Iceman, Kimi Räikkönen.
So then, but they never replied to me. So I don't know if there's one guy who might want to, who can test this properly. It could be me, but they are not interested.
Let's bombard them with emails, and I'll help you with that. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
I usually don't have opinion. I have the data. So it's for the past 14 years, I have seen, I don't know, maybe 1,000 prototyping development cells, but only one of them will survive, which is easy deployable on the market. That's why we have LFP. That's why we have NCA, NMC, because they are surviving the market. So what I see about, let's say, not invitation of the new technology on the market, for me, for my personal opinion, this is still the buzzword. So we will see if this will be survivable on the market. Is it repairable? Can we source them? Can we repair them? What is the end of life cycle, not state of health? So it must validate itself on the road. And right now, I trust the mostly to the NMC cells, NCA, especially the cylindrical one, because they are on the market 40 years. And that's not a small thing. So we will need to see, let's say, solid-state battery packs or donut battery packs on the road at least 2 years. Then I will tell you opinion. Right now, it's just the data. And it's slightly misleading for e-mobility and for the community. They're constantly inviting new technology to the market, but we have never seen the change. Only LFP cells and the Chinese one, salt cells, how they called.
Yeah, but I think what's also very important here, EVs are flooding the market over the last couple of years, and we see different types of battery chemistries. But nowhere are consumers actually educated how to take care of their battery correctly, because you treat an LFP battery different from an NMC or NCA battery. So I think that's also something that the industry needs to take care of. That's a responsibility.
Let's say this is less misleading. More is misleading in state of health. But
100%.
But I think the biggest problem is for us degraded battery packs through supercharging. So that's unrepairable. Let's say LG packs are unrepairable. We did have 16 packs. We did not repair any of those. We needed to change, and especially it was customers from Austria.
Wow. Did that answer your question? Where is he? Yeah? Did it answer your short question? Yeah? Perfect. Thank you so much, man, for the question. All right. One more question.
So this is a bit of a different one, not related to the battery itself, but more about the drive unit. You guys have the large drive unit. You resolved the issue that Tesla was not able to fix, even after many revisions. And I was wondering, is it also possible to replace a small drive unit on a dual motor Model S, let's say like a facelift, and replace that to a large drive unit that you guys make or redesign?
So from Model S dual drive to performance one. Yeah. It is possible, but we didn't do it because we need to change the rear wiring, and it's not the same. So it was too much investment to do exactly that. But let's say, dear public, don't worry about the battery packs, because in our workshop, only 20% of all requests in 6 active workshops are not battery packs. It's large drive, not large drive, it's e-drives. So the LDU which we made, we invested something around 30,000 euro to make it sustainable. Something which Elon Musk promised, but he didn't deliver it. So our e-drive made right now with our Holy Grail kit almost 1,100,000 kilometers. But it's not just to blame the Tesla. Tesla did everything else better than anyone else on the world. But let's say EU market with their own e-drives, Porsche Taycan, EQ series, EQV, EQS, Stellantis, almost all those manufacturers in Europe, they have much more problems with e-drives. They are, let's say, on Europe model, you will change three or four e-drives until you change the battery pack. So you should be concerned about e-drive, not the battery packs.
Did that answer your question? Perfect. All right. So, odometer tampering. Is it possible to tamper with the odometer of a Tesla? Björn decided to take it to the test. What did you find out?
Okay, there was one guy from Bulgaria. He drove to
That's where it goes wrong already, I think. No.
Okay, well, but okay, they're totally unrelated to the main sponsor here, Enhance. But one guy from Bulgaria, he drove his Model S 90D to Norway to visit me, and he mentioned that he suspected that his Model S has tampered on the odometer because he looked at the seat and it seems to be quite worn down,
Heavily used.
yeah. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we can. This is right around when I got to know the SIVA report. So then we ran the report, but at least it didn't show anything weird, except for that when you start calculating the reported kilowatt hour the car has charged versus how many kilometers.
You get a consumption that.
Yeah. I got like 350 watt hour per kilometer. You know, this is not a fat e-tron. It's an efficient Model S 90D, I think it was. So it looked weird, but then, it turns out that it is possible to cheat about this. Maybe you want to tell more about it?
Yeah, so perhaps you know the stories from back in the days that you can just put a screwdriver in and turn it back. That's very difficult on a computer on wheels. So Tesla actually stores the odometer values at 3 different places. And if you replace all values at 3 different places, then the car will accept that value as the new correct value. And only if you go back into the logs, you can see which shop worked on it, which mechanic from Tesla worked on it. And in this specific case, we saw workshop, unknown, mechanic, unknown. And that's how you find out. So I think in a week from now, we'll be able to definitively say if your odometer. Yes, next week somewhere, to see if your odometer is tampered with, because that's very essential information, especially if you buy a used Tesla, because you want to know what you're buying. So next scandal coming up, I think.
Yeah, but also when I ran those SIVA tests, there were actually, I think it was 3 or 4 cars, Model S or something, that also had really high consumption, also around 300 plus watt hour per kilometer, but also did the test on Millennium Falcon, and then I got around 160 watt hour per kilometer, which seems to be more correct. So I think I calculated that even if you have some vampire drain, even if you camp in a car like I did, I slept in a car, it still doesn't pull the average that much.
No, that's the absurd consumption.
So we should try to investigate. You and Sven, try to dig on those 4 cars, whatever, 3 other cars. Yeah.
You have a very busy week ahead, my man. Also we suspected a Model 3 with early leakage, right? So we're going to test that as well.
Yeah, there was one car we tested. Most of the cars, they're just like fine, just some moisture, just supercharged and then heats up. But there was one car with this internal, what is it called again? Internal leakage in the motor or something.
Yes, so there are no sensors in the vehicle actually measuring how much oil is leaking from the engine, but based on like the enormous amount of parameters that you are able to get from that car, you can detect if there's leakage, really. So we're going to make a video, and we have the guy driving to us.
Yeah, I need to tell a little bit about the backstory here. Is that he lives in Germany somewhere, not 4 hours away from Antwerp-ish. But he asked Tesla about this. The car is under warranty. And he asked Tesla. And Tesla says, well, the car is not kaput. They're not going to repair it. But he can go to the service center and they will charge 370 euros.
426.
Or how much was it again? Yeah, plus VAT for the check. But then, this is a prime case for you guys because, okay, I tested the SIVA report, but you need to prove that it's good.
Yeah, and that's actually the fun part.
Yeah.
Opening that engine and see if we are able to detect it. And I think you guys must have the same experience, like being able to make an assessment, and that assessment is on point. That's a sense of happiness, I think.
So that's what we wanted to check.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Get the guy over to electrify, and also that Swedish Model S, the 10-year-old Model S, which has splendid state of health, but according to Sven, according to the report, there were some serious problems with the battery.
Yeah. So how much percent was the SOH? Like the
95%. 95, yeah.
State of capacity. 95%.
But according to Sven, the car could stop anytime.
So it won't make it from Sweden to Belgium. So that's 1,500 kilometers, I think.
That's what Sven claims.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sven.
So I hope he will drive that car, and I hope he will break down.
Okay.
In a safe manner, of course.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't break down, but that we still find some errors there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Is there something left that we should talk about? Did we miss anything, guys? No? Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
Then I see fingers popping up left and right. Where to look? Whoa, 1, 2. Okay, you first.
Yeah, so you brought a very interesting topic on the table, saying that you can temper the kilometers and you can check it through the battery. But that engineer that was able to tamper with the kilometers, now knowing the information that you can do the math between the battery consumption and the kilometers, wouldn't then adjust also the battery life data?
Okay, well,
You can try.
no, I'm not sure what he meant.
He asked you
Okay.
Can I say it? Should I say it again?
now that you can calculate from kilowatt
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure because it could be more complex than that. Because there was also many cases where you got a new battery, or it could be that because I'm just a car tester. I don't understand all the numbers. Those guys know what it means. So when the BMS reports some numbers, there could be reasons why they are high. So what we know when we do the test, when Sven looks into the service logs for those 3 other cars with higher consumption, there might not actually be odometer cheating. Then what? Maybe you have the answer.
I can tell that hacker it's not possible immediately because you can put more kilowatt hours, but you cannot put less. The processor in the BMS is completely locked. Tesla locked it, I don't know, 1 year ago. So you cannot access D-flash memory inside the BMS on Model 3, Model Y, and even Chinese models have different type of BMS. You cannot access any data for, let's say, for analyzing. So that's completely locked and you are safe. There might be a problem with Model S, but I think in the Model S it's completely different. He cannot do it over the CAN bus or LAN connection. He would need to do it manually, and nobody has exact collocation in the memory how to change that. So I don't see any tampering inside the BMS for the next at least 15 years.
Yeah, perfect. We have one question remaining. Christian, right?
We talked about the differences in the battery cells. I just wondered, maybe you give a hint to the audience. How can you find out quickly how to determine which exactly battery pack you have?
That might be a little bit problem. Even the guys even we have the problems who are making software for, let's say, battery certificates. We have issue to detect properly. You can get serial number, you can get a lot of other different values, but you cannot get the chemistry. I don't know why Tesla is trying to hide it. There is only way with the official way. So you go to Tesla to print out configuration of the vehicle, and there is code like 5SBB. That means it's LG. So you have all the chemistries inside the Tesla system already inside. So all the owners must contact Tesla. There is no other way to determine right now. Maybe by firmware version, but we don't have the matrix of all versions, so we can detect automatically. Maybe we will do it together with Electrify because we can pull all the data from the BMS, and maybe we can, let's say, filter out what might be the chemistry. What is it, LG or Panasonic here?
I think that's a very good collaboration and research project. So thanks for that question. We have work to do.
A lot of work.
Yeah. But I think the easiest way is to like get the product serial number, and then you have like 95% reliability that you can state which manufacturer you got, right?
Just contact Tesla service and ask for vehicle configuration, full one. And there is a code battery type, something like this, four words and letters.
Okay, one more question. And you guys think in the meantime for another question.
Hey, I have a Model X, 2 years old, 100 kilowatt battery in it. And I noticed when I drove it recently from 100% to about 25%, so it's then 75% of the battery is gone. At the same time, when I look at my trip, it said that I burned about 63 kilowatt hours. So then if I multiply it, then I arrive somewhere at 84, 85. So I was wondering, where's the other 15? Is that a sign of battery degradation, or is there still some slack where like 100 is maybe not 100 or 95, or any thoughts on that?
Just stop multiplying and keep driving your vehicle. That's one of my first opinions, because lot of EV, especially Tesla owners, everybody is calculating something. Mostly, a lot of data can be false positive. And with the last vehicle, Model X in Belgrade he had a consumption 350 watt hours per kilometer. Yes. You know what was the problem? He was complaining to Tesla, trying to get in contact with the Tesla through a lawyer. At the end, it was the brake caliper. So you understand, any technical issue on your vehicle, even if it's invisible completely and it feels for you completely correct, it's not 100%. Because nobody, especially Tesla owners, they are not best maintainers of their vehicles. They trust in no maintenance. That might be a problem. So let's say you should do, complete brake check for 250,000 kilometers. In my opinion, I would change everything. I would invest 2,000 euro, change everything. And the second part of, let's say, increasing consumption on Model S is wheel misalignment. So wheel misalignment. So that's making consumption. Bad tires, Chinese ones, they increase for at least, 20 watt hours. So if you calculate everything through your driving habits, it's usually not the problem with the car, usually. But the 100 kilowatt pack has some different type of issue. You know, the Achilles heel problem with 100 pack. So they have really bad bonding on the fuses, and they fail a lot, around 150,000 kilometers. And in some cases, even the bad welding on the cell can decrease a range, even if you don't notice it. So that's why you have bad calculation, because the BMS is calculating wrong. So what we do usually, maybe it's the best to do preventive repair on Model S 100 packs, all of them, from 2017 till 2022, even the Raven one, because you are destroying the battery pack if you are driving with the bad bonding. You don't see that. You cannot see the noise in the voltage measurement, and every time you are charging at 100%, you're killing the battery pack. And one mention for S85 users, they have one design for the length of the wires is not same in the battery pack. So they have a false positive reading of the voltage. We did at least 3 battery packs on 100 pack and 85, where the voltage on one module was 4.225. So this is over voltage. But the system didn't see it because you were driving with the bad sensing. That's why they had issues, recalls, and everything else. I would advise to preventively do all the battery packs and never charge S85, 90D, 75 is not a problem, but don't charge Model S above 95%. You don't need to. It's just 3 kilometers of range. You're killing battery pack with over voltage. So we have several examples where owners ignore the problem. It wasn't enough for warranty claim, and you were killing the battery pack, and almost the last day of your warranty, your battery pack failed. So be extremely careful.
Take care of your battery.
I also have an answer, a short answer, which is that for the 100 kilowatt hour, the net capacity that I measured when it was new was 92 kilowatt hour, and there's a 6 kilowatt. Well, there was 4 kilowatt hour buffer, but they increased it to 6 kilowatt hour. So this is typical gross capacity that you get, whatever, on many cars, not Tesla also, versus a net capacity. So you had 92 kilowatt hour when it was new, and now maybe you're down to roughly 85. So yeah, 82, 86. Yeah, so it has degraded. That's the short answer.
All right. An hour goes by really fast, so time really does fly when you're having fun. Thanks for the questions and interactions. I think that's the best that you can get. If you have any questions about your batteries, come visit us. Come visit Vanja at the EVClinic stand to talk in depth. And can I get a round of applause for the cutest, most well-behaved kid I've seen in ages? All right, thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you all this weekend.